Hi there, and welcome back to the PAAR Presidential Update. I'm Molly Hohrein, your PAAR President, and today we have a very special guest with us, Sarah Michelle Bliss. Welcome, Sarah. Tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Molly. I've been listening to you guys' podcast since you started it. It's always great to be able to tune into the local market. So I'm Sarah Michelle Bliss. I'm a co-author of the book, 8 Ways to Dominate Any Real Estate Market, that we're going to talk about a little bit today. I've been selling real estate for almost 30 years, if you can believe.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Me
if
too.
you could believe that, between Phoenix and up here in the Prescott area as well. So I'm also a master coach with Workman Success out of Salt Lake City, and so is my co-author.
That's awesome. Your book is called 8 Ways to Dominate Any Real Estate Market. What are your core principles from the book?
I would love to share that, Molly. Thank you. So there are 8 principles. The first one is we want you to get real clear about what your why is and having a business plan. We actually talk about Nate going to the very first CRM conference, the very first one ever, and all of the high top producers had a blue dot on their name badge. These were all people selling 100 homes or more. And so he got really excited about that because back then, and when he started his career, he was literally selling foreclosure properties on the court steps. And so he came back to Phoenix, and that year he was crazy. He wanted to sell 100 homes. And he goes back to the second CRS convention, and he's looking through his name badge. Where's my blue dot? Well, they stopped doing it, right? They didn't have the blue dots again that year, but he did sell 100 homes. And so, but it was a mess, right? There was no business plan. It was just this, drive to go sell 100 homes. And so we want you to be clear about what your vision is. What's your why? What's your sticky factor? My sticky factor right now is I want to help feed people. That's my goal. And at the end of the year. And so every month I'm fundraising to help feed, the people in our community that need food. So having a clear vision and understanding what your blue dot is. And then the next step is to create a budget. I like to call it a spending plan because in order to make money, as you know, you have to spend money in this business. The next thing is that you want to be intentional. Be in control of your schedule because, as you know, in this business, a lot of dinners get over. We don't get to eat at 5 o'clock with our family because
family time has to give and take.
Yeah, so creating an intention with your calendar and being in control of that is really important. And then we talk a lot about a concept called Top 50 that actually comes from Workman Success as well, and creating a list of people who are evangelical about you and just getting in the habit of calling those people every single month, making 50 phone calls. So, and those people will, if they're raving fans, they'll send you business, and that's really, I don't believe in buying leads. In 30 years of doing this, I have never bought a Zillow lead or a Realtor.com lead because I work my database. I work the relationships I currently have. The next thing is that you want to have a business plan, or not have a business plan, but also a marketing plan. So you follow that plan every month, because if you wait till January to say, oh, I'm going to, touch my top 50, it'll be April or May before you do it. So you want, before the end of the year, sit down and create that plan. So January, this is what I'm doing. February, this is what I'm doing. And then you execute it. And the next thing is tracking. So you really want to track your business. So, it's interesting to me when I take on a new coaching client, I ask them how much money have you made this year, and they have no idea.
Wow. Okay.
They have no idea, or they don't know what the source of their business is.
Okay.
I've coached people that, I had a guy one time who was a co-owner of a bar, and we started tracking the leads, and it was amazing how much business came from that. And so we leaned in and created leverage around that source. And so tracking is super important. The title of that book is You Can Win a Baseball Game Hitting Singles. The only way to know that is if you're tracking your business. And the next thing is to get face-to-face as often as possible with your database.
That is so true. That makes it all the difference, I think.
NAR produced an article, it's been probably 10 years ago, that said the number one way to create new business is to get face-to-face with people.
Yeah, that's what we always talk about on our team as well. It's like once you get that face-to-face interaction, the whole communication between the two of you changes.
Yeah, and you create a sticky factor, right? So that you stick with them after you've had the face-to-face. Then lastly, we're really big, obviously being a master coach, big about having mentorship, getting into accountability, even if that's just another person that you are close with that will call you out, right? Not say, hey, it's too bad the dog ate your homework, right? But actually hold you accountable to the things that you say you want to do in your business.
Well, that's good. Oh, those are great cores. So the real estate market has changed dramatically over the years. What do you believe separates the agents who thrive in every market from those who struggle?
I think it starts with mindset. It starts with what you believe. If you believe the market's hard, then the market's going to be hard. We had a big shift when the interest rates changed, right? And I remember facilitating a class with some agents that had all been in the business less than 10 years. And you could see the terror that tear in their eyes because like, what do you mean the interest rates have changed, right? And just shifting with that. I think it really is mindset, and it's believing your perception is your reality. So if you want to think the market's harder, it's great. That's true for you. It all starts with your mindset.
If a brand new realtor asked you for one piece of advice to build a long, successful career, besides those 8 cores that you mentioned, what would it be?
Well, I am going to go to the 8 core. And it is,
of course.
It's the top 50.
It is true, yes.
It's the top 50. Your database is gold. The relationship you have are gold. People like you. I joke in this industry that you have to have a couple things. They like you, they trust you, and you know what you're doing. The third one's optional. Right, because if they like you and they trust you, you can blunder a deal and they're still going to love you. And so we are invited into the American dream, right? Owning a home is American dream, and it's also a primal need of shelter. And so we become a very important part of these people's lives. And oftentimes agents just close the deal, cash the check, and they move on to the next one. And that's a mistake because the closing is just the beginning of the relationship.
I totally agree with you. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and that's exactly what they said. Once the property closes, that's when the relationship is really enveloped.
Absolutely.
So that's true.
Absolutely.
To give our realtors back some of their time and you're liking what you're hearing, tune in next week for part 2. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.